Ask Dr. Khan Show. I'm Dr. Peter Khan, functional medicine doctor, and on this show, you're just one whiteboard away from solving your health puzzle. And today, we're going to talk about digestion. And in the last episode, I talked about don't stop at the diagnosis, continue on and find out what the root cause is. A lot of people, they just say, no, I just want to get diagnosed with something. I just want to know what I have. But getting a diagnosis doesn't necessarily get you closer to the root cause of your condition. So you got to get further. And one of the ways you can do this by understanding basic physiology. So we're going to talk about digestion, specifically bloating. Now, if you experience bloating after you eat, sometimes you feel bloated, you feel like you're pregnant, like you carry a 3-month baby. I mean, that is not normal. You should not bloat after you eat. If you bloat, it means something. Now, it can mean different things, depends on what kind of food you bloat to. So this is critical information that I take when I take on a client and I ask these questions that will help us to identify what tools are the best. See, supplements are tools. They can be very helpful, but if you apply the wrong tool to the wrong situation, you're not going to get very far. And a lot of time, people, they just take some random supplement without even understanding what their problem even means. So let me help you understanding bloating. So today, we're going to talk about bloating, and specifically bloating after you eat, after meals. Now, when you bloat, depends on what you bloat to. Okay, so if you bloat against protein, so if you eat protein and you feel bloating after that, this may be due to more of a hydrochloric acid deficiency, decreased stomach acid. Because stomach acid is critical to help you break down protein. You see, carbohydrate digestion starts in the mouth with amylase, the saliva amylase. You have enzyme in your saliva that help you break down carbs in your mouth. That process starts there. But protein digestion doesn't actually start to happen until it hits the stomach, specifically with stomach acid. Now, medical doctor makes stomach acid out to be the bad guy. Every single symptom you have, they're throwing stomach acid stopping medication at you. And that is wrong, because many people don't have a too much stomach acid problem. They have a not enough stomach acid problem. In fact, if you look in physiology textbook, there are very few mechanisms for why you would make too much stomach acid. Most of the reasons that will contribute to stomach acid issues due to stress and decreased thyroid function, decreased nervous system output that's innervating the gut, that usually leads to decreased stomach acid production, not too much. So there's a lot more people that have this problem than they have the too much acid problem. Now, if you have symptoms of burning, heartburn, reflux, typically it's due to, number one, you don't have enough stomach acid. So the food sits in your stomach and it doesn't digest, especially protein. When it sits there and it doesn't digest, the food starts to rot, and that rotting food is what your body's trying to regurgitate up. Furthermore, the rotting food forms lactic acid, a different type of organic acid, and that's the burning from the food rotting that you can't digest because you don't have enough stomach acid. That is why you have that symptom. Secondly, if you feel burning in your stomach's not supposed to burn because your stomach produces a special lining that protects itself from its own stomach acid. See, the stomach acid, the pH in the stomach is 1 or 2, which means on a pH scale is very, very acidic. In fact, if you put stomach acid on your hand, your skin will start to burn. That's how acidic it is. Now, why doesn't the stomach lining burn then, right? If it's that acidic, why don't you feel burning from the acid all the time? It's because your stomach actually produces a special lining, a mucus lining that protects itself from its own acid. So the fact that you feel burning is because that stomach lining has been damaged. You have some kind of damaged stomach lining. Now, what will cause that stomach lining to be damaged? The number one reason is due to H. pylori infection. This is the most common reason. H. pylori is a bacteria that affects the upper GI tract that can actually start to erode the stomach lining. These bacteria actually burrow themselves into the gastric lining and sort of shut down stomach acid production. Why? Because acid is really important to help you sterilize what you put into your mouth. The bacteria has to be sterilized. So the stomach acid is your first line of defense against gut infections. And these H. pylori bacteria are really smart. They know that they can't live in acid, so they actually go and shut down stomach acid production so that they can actually survive. Well, guess what? When you start shutting down stomach acid production, you don't digest protein, now you bloat. You feel like there's a break in your stomach. Stuff just doesn't go down. You feel full after you eat. You feel gassy after you eat. You burp. That's the reason. H. pylori could be a reason for that. Okay? So we have to investigate this. What would be another reason why you have stomach acid production or low stomach acid production? Low stomach acid. Another reason will be hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism, remember, thyroid hormones stimulate the metabolism of every single cell in your body. And when you have low thyroid function, secretion goes down. That means you're not going to be able to make enough stomach acid. Then you don't digest food, now you bloat, and now you look like you're pregnant. Not pretty, not fun. Another reason why you can have low stomach acid production is decreased brain function. Brain-gut connection. Let's say that. And that's also going to cause decreased stomach acid production. Remember, stomach acid production is triggered by the brain-gut axis, proper innervation of the vagus nerve from the brain to your gut. If you cannot get the brain to innervate the gut's not going to be able to do its function, which one is function is secrete stomach acid in the stomach. So these are some of the reasons why that could happen. Okay, medications. Obviously, if you take medications, that can also shut that down. So there's a lot of reasons for it. Okay, so we always want to address the root cause, not just treat the symptom, which is the bloating itself. Now, another type of bloating is that you bloat after starchy or fiber foods. Now, typically, this will be due to low pancreatic enzyme production. Okay. Now, the pancreas produces various different enzymes like pancreatic lipase, which help you break down fat, but amylase is a main enzyme that's produced by the pancreas to help you break down starchy, carbohydrate, and fiber foods. So if you have low pancreatic acid production, pancreatic enzyme production, you can have trouble with starchy food. So you eat bread, you eat starches, even vegetables, you bloat after you eat. Could be a pancreatic enzyme problem. Now, what could cause low pancreatic enzyme output? What causes that? Well, guess what? Low stomach acid leads to low pancreatic enzyme output because your pancreas gets stimulated to produce its enzyme, to release its enzyme in the presence of stomach acid. So without stomach acid, you cannot make pancreatic enzyme. See, this is how this is connected. So a lot of people, again, many people have low stomach acid status. That's a very common problem. And this can lead to low pancreatic enzyme output. Another reason will be, as I mentioned earlier, brain-gut connection. And if you have impaired brain-gut connection, that can decrease pancreatic enzyme output. And by the way, if you have diabetes, that can also decrease pancreatic enzyme output. Remember, diabetes is a condition associated with the pancreatic insufficiency because pancreas makes insulin. And if your pancreas is so, either in type 1 situation where you have autoimmune to the pancreas, so your immune system's destroying your own pancreas, in that case, not only are you not able to make insulin, you also cannot make pancreatic enzyme. If you have type 2 diabetes, you're insulin resistance. That means your pancreas is so busy pumping out so much insulin due to so much dietary sugar and carbohydrate that the insulin no longer works, so you're diabetic. But as the pancreas becomes more increasingly having to pump out so much insulin that it may fatigue. See, any hormone gland in your body can experience glandular fatigue. So when people say adrenal fatigue, that can happen to your pancreas as well. That can happen to your thyroid gland. That can happen to your pituitary gland. So you can have pancreatic fatigue or just no longer able to pump out its content, which could include enzymes. So people with diabetes can have digestive enzyme problem associated with that. So the next thing is that you can have trouble digesting fat. So if you bloat after you eat fatty foods, like fried food or just oil or just fried foods, then you may have problem with gallbladder issue. Decreased gallbladder. And really, what we're really saying here is not just the gallbladder, but bile function. Remember, bile is made in the liver, stored in the gallbladder to be concentrated, and then released based on the brain's innervation to the gut, to the gallbladder, to squirt that bile into your gut to help you with fat digestion. So what type of fat are we talking about? We're talking about fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, E, and K. These are fat-soluble vitamins that require proper bile function to absorb. Now, pancreas also does that as well through lipase, but primarily, we're really looking at the gallbladder here. Also, we're talking about essential fatty acids. This includes your omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9. So you take fish oil, you may not be able to absorb your fish oil. You take vitamin D, you may not be able to absorb your vitamin D. So you're going to have problem with fat nutrient absorption. So if you eat fatty food, you bloat, you get gassy, you just don't tolerate fats well, you may have decreased gallbladder or bile function. Now you say, my gallbladder has been removed. Exactly, that's the problem. Why was your gallbladder removed in the first place? It was diseased, it was sick, it wasn't working. So you have to find the reason why it's not working. Typically because the bile gets sludgy. Why does the bile get sludgy? Because you have decreased gallbladder contraction. Remember, gallbladder is not a passive sac. It is an active sac with muscular wall around it that can contract and squirt out the bile into your digestive tract to help you with fat absorption. You can have decreased gallbladder contraction. But what does that mean? That means the bile doesn't flow as well. It's going to just sit there, and you know, anything that sits there, it's going to start to create problems. You can get dysbiosis, you can get bacterial infections. But when bile just sits there and don't flow, it gets sludgy. It gets thicker, and as thicker bile forms, then crystals and salts precipitate out of the solution. That's where the stones come from. So you get gallbladder stone not because you swallowed rocks. You get gallbladder stone because you have poor functioning gallbladder contraction, and bile is not flowing, so they get sludgy. Now another thing is toxicities contribute to the sludginess of the gallbladder. So if you have the sludginess of the bile, so if you have toxicity that you can't eliminate because you're overexposed to them, and we're all overexposed to toxins, and you have decreased gallbladder contraction, boom, that makes a perfect storm for you to have sludgy bile, and you can end up with your gallbladder removed, or just having your gallbladder but just not working very well, so you don't absorb and you don't detox very well. Okay, now why would the gallbladder decrease in contraction? Remember we talked about the brain gut several times, brain gut. Let's just apply that bubble to this also. Very much your digestion is very much a brain phenomenon. You need your brain to function properly to drive the whole digestion process. Many people have decreased brain to gut connection function. And how do you know if your brain is not functioning? That could be part of this digestion problem. Well, if you have any brain symptom, then that means your brain's not properly functioning 100%. What kind of brain symptom are we talking about? Fatigue, brain fog, short-term memory issues. You have word loss. You can't get the words out. You know what you want to say. You can't spit it out. You have depression or anxiety. You have poor brain endurance. You watch TV, you fall asleep. You read a book, you fall asleep. That's a problem. These are all brain symptoms. Fatigue, brain fog, memory loss, depression, anxiety, poor brain endurance. If you have that, you may have decreased brain to gut connection. That's going to lead to these digestive acid secretion, enzyme secretion, gallbladder contraction, and gallbladder bile function. And then some people may have trouble bloating after all the foods. Doesn't matter if it's protein, starch, fat, you just don't do well with anything, bloating wise. This can be due to infection, specifically SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. This is where bacteria start to grow and start to get inoculated in your gut. Sometimes we call this dysbiosis. Dys means dysfunctional, biosis, bio means bacteria. Dysbiosis meaning imbalance between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. So your beneficial bacteria is not enough and your bad guys are too much. Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. This can start to ferment against the food that you eat. So even if you eat healthy stuff, you still bloat. Well, I don't get it. I'm eating healthy stuff. Why am I still having a problem? Because you have a gut infection. So it's not the fact that you're not eating healthy, it's that we need to clear a gut infection. And this is where diet may not help you. You can eat as healthy you want, but you got an infection that you got to clear. So this is where testing really comes in. And that's what we do with our clients. We run the right test, but remember the test starts with, before the test, it's a proper analysis based on your signs and symptoms. So I'm teaching you how to assess yourself. Do you bloat with protein or starchy food or fats or all foods? Then you can see, oh, stomach problem versus a pancreatic enzyme problem versus a gallbladder problem versus gut infection. And then we can apply the right tools to help with that. There's supplements you can take to help with stomach acid problem. We use a product called Enzyme HCl Plus that contains betaine hydrochloric acid. You can take some apple cider vinegar as well, but some people need more than that. With pancreatic enzyme output, we can use enzyme, again, Enzyme HCl Plus is one of my favorite products. It contains broad spectrum digestive enzyme and betaine hydrochloric acid. And it has things that help you break down fat, like ox bile, to help you with people with trouble in this area. So Enzyme HCl Plus can help with all of this. But remember, don't forget about the brain-gut connection. We may need to address underlying issues. And we may have to look at thyroid problem or even gut infection like H. pylori or SIBO. This is if you bloat with all foods. Now some people, they bloat more associated with portion size. It's not the food, it's just if you eat a lot of food, or you just have trouble with swallowing even, or you eat a lot of food and you bloat. If it's related to portion size, this may have to do with neurological control. So again, that brain-gut axis, brain-gut connection, or even dysautonomia. Dysautonomia means dysfunctional autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is that part of the nervous system that controls everything that's on autopilot, including digestion and secretion, especially with swallowing muscles. Muscles of swallowing. So if you have dysautonomia as part of your symptom picture, then maybe you have decreased neurological control of the esophagus and the muscle that help you swallow. So when you eat a lot of food, you kind of choke on stuff. You can't get it all the way down. You have difficulty swallowing. You gag and stuff like that. So that could be a brain issue if you have portion size problem. Okay, so these are different type of bloating reacting to different type of foods. And different reasons why that may be happening, anatomically speaking, so you can localize where is exactly your problem, and then we can do specific tests. And remember, it's not about just the test, it's about the doctor, isn't it? It's about who you work with, who that person is, and they have the expertise to understand this and explain it all to you, and actually take the time to explain it, and be able to analyze it so you can address the root cause. Again, if you need help, please schedule a free 15-minute discovery call with our team, so you learn how our advanced functional medicine program can help you identify the root cause and help you reverse your symptom, help you feel better and feel the best that you've been in years, despite going to multiple doctors with no answers. That's the type of people we help, but you gotta be committed to the process. It's not about a magic pill. I'm really good, but I don't walk on water. I'm not Jesus. We just figure things out, and I talk to you about it, and we teach you how to understand it, and give you tools and resources to help yourself. If you like a partner in your health, give us a call, 480-988-6269, or you can click on the link that we posted here to schedule a discovery call. I'd love to talk to you, see if we can help you. And as always, if you feel like this is helpful, please share this video with other people. Please like the video, comment if you have questions, post. I always answer these questions myself, and I look forward to seeing you next week at the Ask Dr. Kong Show. Take care.